Welcome aboard Alex's Animal Ark. My name is Alex, and I will be your guide to all the amazing animals that live on our planet. Today we will be learning about the manatee, which was requested by my grandma Julie. Now, most of you have probably seen a manatee before, so you know what I'm talking about, but you may learn something new in this podcast. To start with, manatees are part of the order Sirenia, which consists of the three species of manatee: the West Indian, the West African, and the Amazonian manatees, as well as the dugong and the extinct Steller's sea cow. The West Indian manatee consists of two subspecies, the Florida manatee and the Caribbean manatee. Most people in the United States know the Florida manatee. Manatees are related to elephants and hyraxes, which are small mammals. Manatees are large, gray-colored aquatic mammals. Manatees can be 9 feet in length and can weigh between 880 and 1,210 pounds, but they can reach up to 15 feet in length and 3,913 pounds in weight. Florida manatees can live up to 60 years in the wild. Manatees have no natural predators, but humans often accidentally injure or kill manatees with boats and also with loose nets that manatees can get stuck in. Manatees have a wrinkled head and a face with whiskers on their snouts. They have a prehensile upper lip, which is used for gathering food, eating, and communication. Inside their mouths, manatees have 4 rows of 6 to 8 teeth on either side of their upper and lower jaws. Their teeth do not have enamel, so they're constantly replaced, with the old ones falling out and the new ones sliding forward to take their place. Their eyes are small and widely spaced on their heads, with eyelids that close in a circular pattern. Behind their eyes, they have really small ear openings that lead to massive inner ears. Manatees only have 6 cervical, also known as neck vertebrae, compared to 7 in most other mammals. Manatees have 2 front flippers with 3 to 5 nails on each flipper. The Amazonian manatee has no nails on its flippers. The manatee's body tapers down to a paddle-shaped tail that it uses to propel itself. Its cousin, the dugong, has a tail with 2 flukes, like whales do, as well as a longer snout. Now, some of you might be wondering, where do manatees live? Well, manatees like to inhabit shallow, slow-moving rivers, estuaries, saltwater bays, canals, and coastal areas of the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, the Amazon Basin, and parts of West Africa. They especially like to live where there are seagrass beds and an abundance of freshwater vegetation. Manatees are migratory species, so they migrate from colder temps to warmer temps since they can't handle temperatures less than 68 degrees. The Florida subspecies of the West Indian manatee lives in Florida in the winter. They will often gather near hot water outputs of power plants, such as the Fort Myers power plant. In summer, they can be found as far west as Texas and as far north as Massachusetts, but it's more common to see them in Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. They can also migrate as far south as Cuba. The Caribbean subspecies is found in coastal and inland waterways of Central America and along the northern coast of South America. The Amazonian manatee inhabits the Amazon River and its tributaries. It also never goes into salt water. The West African manatee is found in coastal, marine, and estuarine habitats on the West Africa coast, and also in the freshwater river systems along the west coast, which includes the Senegal River and south to the Kwanza River in Angola. They can also be found as far upriver on the Niger River as Koulikoro in Mali. Another question some of you might have are, what are some behaviors of the manatees? Well, manatees are diurnal, which means they're active during the day. They are very gentle and slow-moving creatures who spend most of their time eating, sleeping, or traveling. Manatees are mostly solitary, but they do come together to mate. Manatees are herbivorous and eat over 60 varieties of freshwater and saltwater plants. They will also eat small fish and other invertebrates if they get stuck in the vegetation the manatees eat. Manatees will eat 10 to 15% of their body weight in vegetation daily. When looking for food, the manatee will use its flippers to walk on the bottom. If plants are detected, the manatee will scoop the vegetation to its mouth with its flippers. It will then use its prehensile upper lip along with its lower jaw and dense ridged pads on the roof of its mouth to rip apart the vegetation. Manatees are still mammals though, so they must come to the surface for air every 3 to 5 minutes. If they are using more energy, the manatee may resurface every 30 seconds. When resting, manatees can stay submerged for up to 20 minutes. They will rest on the bottom or just below the surface. Manatees usually swim between 3 to 5 miles per hour, but they can swim 20 miles per hour in short bursts. Manatees typically mate once every 2 years, and their gestation is about a year. Manatees typically give birth to one calf, but twins can be born very rarely. The calf generally nurses for 1 to 2 years before it goes off on its own. And now it's time for some manatee fun facts. Did you know that Florida manatees can freely travel between fresh and salt water? Did you know that they may have inspired the myth about mermaids? Did you also know that the oldest manatee was named Snooty and lived to be 69 years old? Did you know there are many rehab centers for manatees across the United States and the world? These include the Lowry Park Zoo in Tampa, the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium in Columbus, Ohio. Did you also know there is a VeggieTales song titled Barbara Manatee, which is about a soap opera starring a manatee named Barbara? Did you also know that Florida manatees are protected under United States federal law through the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 and the Endangered Species Act of 1973, which makes it illegal to hunt, harass, capture, or kill manatees and other marine mammals? Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed and want to hear more, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is also titled Alex's Animal Ark, or subscribe on Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, and Amazon Music. Thank you for coming on this animal adventure. I will see you all again for the next voyage.